Hey planner friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm planning from the 7th to the 13th of July in my Archer and Olive notebook, and this week I'm using Heatwave from Plannerface. So I saw a couple people using this a few weeks ago when it got really hot in the UK, but it was really hot again this week, and I figured that because I couldn't use it the last week it was really hot, it was perfect to use this week when we got up to like 32 degrees in Bristol, which is far too hot for me. As always, I have my planning notes in front of me and all of my stickers pulled out in my Plannerface reusable sticker album. So let's get cracking with the base of this spread. So we're kind of back to my usual amount of stickers and my usual layout for this spread. So the base should be fairly easy to get down. Let's go for, what colour's okay, that's yellow. Let's go for pink in the sidebar. I'm not colour blocking this week. I colour blocked the week before this in this planner, which was like the video before this because I messed up my timings a little bit. I've got a lot of full boxes, so I think I'm going to go for this blonde girl in the sidebar. Cool. And then my habit tracker. Yes, it's a bit hot this week. Got up to like 32 degrees in Bristol. Yeah, just overall a little bit warm, but I mean, I'm not going to complain that it's summery weather in July. We had a few, well, this week wasn't like the best week for me personally, but like there was also just lots of weather to deal with. So I had a bit of a migraine. I think it was like a sleep deprivation migraine because on the Sunday and Monday night I hadn't slept very well. And then Reggie wasn't very well this week, but then he also already had like a vet visit done. So the beginning of this week is a bit of a mess, but then it gets better towards the end of the week. I'm going to come back to the end of this sidebar because I don't know if I want to put a glitter header in, depending on what full box I end up putting there. So let's just do date covers for now. I'm getting all mixed up. I didn't do this spread the weekend of the week following because it was like really busy weekend. Well, it was a really busy Saturday, and then on Sunday I spent the day on the sofa recovering from how busy the Saturday was. So I'm back to recording on a Tuesday evening. So I'm feeling a little bit out of sorts. And like I haven't done any planning for a few days, but I'm sure it will all come flooding back to me. Annoyingly, the weekend after this, like the weather didn't get like really rubbish, but it definitely like took a downward turn, and that was the weekend that we had a bunch of barbecues to go to. So although I don't think I would have wanted to be out in someone's garden in like 32 degree weather, that might have got a little bit too heat stroke and sunburn adjacent. So yeah, there's gonna be a couple mentions of Reggie vet visits again this week and next week. Basically, he did seem to have like a bit of a stomach bug this week, and we literally had to like stay up with him all night because sometimes he thinks that chewing the plasterboard off the walls will make his stomach feel better. Dog logic. So like to stop him from destroying the walls, you have to kind of sit with him. But then he also had his pre-dental checkup this week. So that was all fine, and also his dentist has gone fine, but that is going to be in the plan with me after this one. He does need more dental stuff done though. Okay, washi. I really love the like washi in this kit that's kind of like clouds that are too hot. and then we can finish up with full boxes. So the week before this, I had a double box down the bottom, so we'll put the double box up the top this week. The weekend of this week was like the hottest bit. We were quite warm at training on Saturday. We ended up making basically like sort of homemade swamp cooler situations with like bottles of ice in front of the fans because our training room doesn't have aircon. Neither does pretty much anything anywhere that I've been apart from the car. This week we will go for this girl down here. I think I'm not going to go for a glitter header in the sidebar. I'm just going to go for full box. So the fan definitely got a lot of use this week. The one that I have in my training room in the garage, the one that we have at the training room at my weightlifting club, and the one that we have in the office. And then I think I might use the bottom of this box. It might look a little bit weird with like the top of the drink cut off, but then I think, oh actually it could work that way. We just won't have the ice cubes, but the ice cream will still be there. I think I still want a glitter header in there actually. I do have an idea though. If I put a glitter header there, and then I can just trim the bottom off the Fashion Girl instead of cutting that one up anymore. I think that should be okay. Oops. Okay, there we go. And I'll just pop the weekend banner down at the bottom of Saturday and Sunday. I will probably have to peel it up a little bit again, but I'll pop it down for now to finish off the base. For the sidebar, I have a July monthly script, and I have fixed the one from last week where I put the wrong month in. And then I just have a bit of water cooler deco from the kit. Okay, so that is the base. Now I can get into my plans for the week. Okay, so starting off on Monday, I was working in the office this day, so I'm gonna start off with a third box. Maybe not that colour. Always the way. Let's go for orange. Yeah, so third box. So this day I hadn't slept very well the night before, and I really wasn't feeling great all day. On the way home from work, I had to pick up a prescription. And then when I got home, I did my usual training. So I had a really good training session this day, and I don't know how, because I felt so exhausted all day. And it was like wild to me that the training session at the end of the day went well. Yeah, it just felt kind of bonkers. I don't think that one of these boxes is going to fit there. No. Okay, so I will use the swatch. We'll just rearrange the spacing a little bit so it's not quite so squished at the top. So the yellow box right at the bottom is, this night was the night that Reggie seemed to have some sort of like sickness bug overnight. He started being sick at like 8 PM and he didn't stop until like 5 AM. But he kept seeming like he was okay and then waking up and padding around again. So yeah, that was really horrible. I have Lottie for being at work. I'm using all Lotties this week. I then have Dumbbells version 2 for my training session and one of my custom snatch scripts from Planaface. I just have a little notebook doodle from the kit for picking up a prescription. I have Squidge saying Sul Sul for playing some Sims this evening. And then I have a paw print doodle for Reggie being unwell overnight. Moving on to Tuesday, this day I was working from home and I woke up, I didn't sleep very well again on Monday night, so I was really not feeling good on Tuesday, so I ended up stopping work like mid-afternoon because I was just, yeah, migraine-y. Things like lack of sleep can trigger migraines for me, so I'm not surprised that happened. Wasn't thrilled. I had a big nap. Like, I'm not normally a napping person. I sleep at night, but I was so tired, and like, yeah, this afternoon had just, like, this day had just been so difficult that I just went and let down with Reggie. Oh yeah, when I write his name, because I don't always have like the most obvious dots on my eyes, it looks like I've written Regal sometimes, so I've now started calling him Regal. It's been a while. Once I woke up from my nap, I did a little bit of memory planning. I might have to squish this up a bit more. Yeah, I did my memory planning from the week before, and then I just had a bit of a lazy evening. I need some orange in this spread, so we'll get the little orange little thing and see if we can squish this up. This is going to end up being like last week when I was like moving things around for ages and they just did not fit, and then I eventually gave up. I cut so much out of that bit of that video. No, not enough. Tell you what, we'll put memory planning in on one of these. That does mean that I've used all of those kind of boxes up straight away. Migraine can go on one of the chunkier little things. Also that I can put in nap time, massive. It's worth it though. Reggie clearly wasn't feeling very good because he never comes and just hangs out with me. He always prefers to be with my partner. Okay, for working from home this week, I had a couple of these like sunshine lotties left, so I'm using one of those. And then for the migraine starting, I have another lottie who I'm just gonna trim. For my nap, I just have a pillow doodle, and then for my memory planning, I have the book doodle. And then for my lazy evening, which, not gonna lie, I did think was gonna be bigger, I just have a bit of deco from the kit. Okay, moving on to Wednesday. I should have been in the office this day, but I still really wasn't feeling good, so I took the day off and had a very lazy morning. Let's go for this one. I had a very lazy morning. I then managed to do my training. It's kind of my judge of whether I'm feeling better enough to like do work the next day, as if I can train, because I seem to be able to kind of train anyway. But yeah, I then was feeling a bit better, so I did some editing again of my like plan with me video so that I could go up that day. And then in the evening, I just played some Sims. So we use one of those. Let's just even these out a little bit. Cool. So for having a migraine this day, I have a big lottie, which I'm still going to trim, but there's like 4 bigger ones on the top of the sheet, and I've not used any of them, and I've used a lot of the rest of the sheet, so I figured this was the sort of day where I should probably try and use one. For having a lazy day, I just have a bit of deco from the kit, and then for managing to do my training, I have dumbbell version 2 and a clean script. For my editing, I just have the laptop doodle from the kit, and then because I managed to play some Sims but I wasn't feeling good this day, I just have a squidge for the red plum bob. Okay, on Thursday I did go back to work, but I was working from home this day, which did make it a lot easier to go back to work. So I'm using a quarter box to mark that in, and then during this day Reggie had his blood test, so I think I'm going to mark that in. I'm going to see how much space I have to mark that in, because I want to mark it in quite big. In the evening, so right at the end of the evening, I think this way around, there's a new corner shop that's opened near us, so we popped over there to have a look at what sort of stuff they had. Oh, there's going to be a lot of yellow if I use that. Okay. No, let's make that orange. And if we make that one orange as well. I keep thinking that this is orange, but it's technically like the pink pattern. It's just got a lot of orange and yellow in it. Okay, so this day there was a new Sims pack out, which is the like fairies and naturey one, which it really fits my kind of like gameplay that I enjoy. I also did my training, but as I said, the main thing that happened today was that Reggie had a blood test. He was a very good boy when he was getting poked and prodded. Yeah, it's gonna be too big. He doesn't like being handled particularly, and the only time that he's like really had any like big veterinary intervention was when he had pancreatitis the other year. And that was when he was like in a lot of pain, and he was like, yeah, I'll tolerate you touching me because I'm in a lot of pain. But yeah, I think he was just a bit confused as to why he was getting prodded so much. And he didn't appreciate having his blood pressure taken either, but it all came back fine. He's in really good shape for a 10-year-old Jack Russell mix. So for work I have another Lottie, and then for the vets I have Lottie kind of listening to the dog's heartbeat. For training, again, dumbbells version 2 and my jerk script. And then for the new Sims pack I have one of the big squidges from the sheet, and for the walk to the corner shop I just have some melted ice cream. This was the day where it started getting really hot, and then Friday and Saturday it was like up to 32 degrees, which is why it's gonna be wild that I tell you that when I went into the office on Friday it was freezing. So our office, I think I mentioned we moved to a new site in when was it, December, and the air conditioning has like never seemed to be a comfortable temperature. So on Friday it was freezing in the office. We were all like, it is 32 degrees outside, it's freezing in the office, and like I've had to bring a hoodie for work today. So I'm gonna use a little thing to mark in that it was 32 degrees. When I got home, I hadn't spoken to Becca much this week, so we had a Discord call while I was playing Sims and she was playing something, I can't remember. I might use a half box actually, because I haven't used any half boxes yet. Yeah, so I was playing Sims, we had some drinks at home. It was very warm. Kind of wish I had one of the bigger little things left. I can just use this for it being 32 degrees. Cool. So for being in the office on Friday, I have Lottie with a hat and scarf on because it was freezing because the air conditioning was all messed up. So it was boiling on the top floor and freezing in the offices downstairs. But then I had a bit of deco in the kit to mark in that it was 32 degrees. I have the phone doodle from the kit, which I haven't used for a while, to mark in having a Discord call with Becca. And then I'm just going to use squidge, and oh, that's upside down. And then I have just some deco of some ice and ice cube trays down the bottom to mark drinks at home. Okay, moving on to Saturday. I've used up like all the quarter boxes. Luckily I have a fairly extensive leftover stash, so I've got this one, which must be from a monthly because it doesn't quite fit. So this is to mark doing my memory planning. This is the spread that I filmed downstairs because it was too hot upstairs. I then, in my notes it says that I got the groceries this early in the day. Wild, don't remember that. But I then went to team training. There's only like 4 of us because this was British Champs weekend. And sweltering time for people to be weightlifting and trying to like be at their peak performance, but you know, you can't control the weather. But yeah, we had a very, very sweaty training session. After team training, when I got home, I remembered that the new corner shop that we'd been to on Thursday had a slushie machine. So we went and got slushies. And then I watched some British Champs. And then in the evening I was just playing some Sims. It was really interesting watching British because this is the first competition that I've watched, because unfortunately Pan Am's hasn't been on Weightlifting House. The first competition with the new weight classes. So it's interesting to see where people have moved to. So for memory planning in the morning, I have the planner doodle from the kit, and then for groceries I have the grocery doodle from the kit. For team training, I have vanilla and a custom team training script from Plannerface. For slushies, I have a bit of deco from the kit that looks like a slushie. And then for watching British Champs, I have the TV doodle from the kit. And finally, for playing some Sims in the evening, I just have squidge saying so. Actually, I might switch this squidge for the one that I was going to use on Sunday, because I have more things to mark on Sunday, but for some reason picked out a bigger squidge. Okay, so on Sunday I started off with my little Sunday reset. So I'm going to mark that in. And then I got some editing done. So I will mark in editing. This day I decided, well, after getting the Tesco order the day before and then messing up the proteins, like the protein that I buy from Tesco, I decided to start buying direct from the company that I get from Tesco, and now I have a subscription. It saves me like 25%. So I don't know why I didn't do this earlier. It seems really stupid, but I think I'm going to switch those two things around so the boxes match better. I was then watching some more British Champs and playing Sims at the same time. We love multitasking. And then we went for a drive this day. The week that's just been, we went up to Gloucester for a family barbecue, and we kind of did like a dry run this week and then ended up at a pub just so that we were comfortable with the drive and everything, because my partner hasn't been that far away from home for a while. That all went well, and then we just came home and had like a chill evening. I say chill because it wasn't chill because it was really hot, but you get what I mean. So for my Sunday reset, I just have the vacuum doodle from the kit. For our protein subscription, I have a little shaker cup. For editing, I just have a bit of deco from the kit. For watching British Champs, I have some more deco from the kit, and Sims, I have squidge. And then for our drive and going to the pub, I have the car doodle from the kit and a wine doodle from Planaface. And then to finish up the day, I just have a bit of deco from the kit. Okay, so that is all of my stickers laid down for this week. I think this spread has turned out super cute. I love all of the bright colours in this kit, and it definitely looks just as warm as this week felt. So I'm going to go fill all this in and I'll be right back. So here's the spread all filled out, and I think this one has turned out super cute. I love all of these bright summery colours, and it's a very full spread because we did a lot this week. If you made it this far in the video, leave me a little sun emoji in the comments. But if you have any other comments or questions, please leave them in the comments section down below. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed it, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye!